Hi, I'm Jenny Lee Summers, and this is my podcast, Fiber Arts Friday. So, welcome, and I am so glad to have you here. It is a gloriously sunny first day of spring here in upstate New York. So, even though it is kind of chilly outside, you can't really help but feel those spring vibes. You can see, if you look out here, right there, you can see my finger pointing. There's like snow right out there in the back in the woods still. But we had a couple days of really warm weather, and we had gone off to Cooperstown for the weekend. When we left, we couldn't literally step out onto our back deck, and when we got home, there was like pretty much no snow anywhere, so that was fun. So anyways, I did not get to record this on Thursday like I was hoping. Today really is actually Friday. So it's a true Fiber Arts Friday. I'm hoping to edit this quickly and have it up by tomorrow. So I've got actually a full agenda and even a checklist to keep me on track this week. So I am excited and ready to dig right in. So first thing on the agenda is that this podcast is sponsored by Lock 5 Studio. That's me, my studio. I actually have several different platforms in which I use both Lock 5 Fiber Arts and Lock 5 Studio. YouTube is kind of the only one really that they're combined on, I think, in X. But it's sponsored by Lock 5 Studio, so if you have not checked out my other social media platforms, I would really appreciate you doing so. I'm building a website right now as I am speaking. Well, technically not right this second, but it's in the works, which should not only have my fiber arts related stuff, my podcast, my patterns, my makes, all that stuff, hopefully even stuff that I make for sale. But it will also have artwork. So even though that seems like how could one person do so many things, I'm blessed and fortunate to be able to focus on my studio and my fiber arts, and that is what I'm doing. So I'm just going full, the full Monty. So, just a reminder, I am on several platforms. You can find me on, obviously, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I mentioned X before. My Ravelry page is now up and running, and we can talk more about that later, but I'm really excited because I've linked a few projects to a few other designers that I've done pattern tests for, and I plan to upload like as many of those as I can. I have like really full photo albums of all of the photo shoots I've done for all the projects I've done. I'm up to like 30 pattern tests at this point. So I look forward to linking to everybody's Ravelry account and my patterns up there now too. So we won't talk about that yet. We'll pause there for that. But if you like this content and you like what you see, you like my channel, you like my vibe, you like my outfits, you like my crochet corner, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. I'm super grateful for all of the feedback I've gotten. I'm just a little tiny account, and I'm actually in tears over some of the very touching feedback that I've gotten so far from people who've watched my podcast. Not just like, hey, great podcast, but like, you've inspired me to make life changes. So to those people, you inspire me to keep going. I have really violently bad panic attacks. They get sometimes violent. Honestly, I don't want to like hide things and sugarcoat. Everyone accuses YouTubers of not telling the truth. And they have. So, they've been really good for a while. I like to call it like remission. But this last 2 weeks or so has been pretty rough. And we took a little trip to Cooperstown to try to reset. I actually felt like things kind of got worse while we were there. Sometimes traveling is helpful, sometimes it's not. So we ended up staying longer, an extra day. And I don't know, life got a little kind of backed up for me this week, so I don't want to quit though. I don't want to give up. I want to keep plugging along. Panic attacks are tricky to deal with and to kind of keep in their place, to keep sequestered. So anyways, that's where I'm at. And I'm just really excited to be here sharing my journey with you. So if you're here, thanks for being here. So the next thing I want to do, let me check my box. I'm going to try to be good and check my box here. I have 15 things on my agenda, technically kind of 16, with announcements and mail. So announcements and mail. The next part is really exciting. I got to 1,000 followers on Instagram. Thank you so much. Yay. I need like I have tambourines downstairs. I need a tambourine. That gives me an idea. I'll be right back. I made it to 1,000 followers on my Block 5 Fiber Arts Instagram page. I'm pretty excited if you can't tell. And that being said, it is time to pick a winner of the big showcase, showdown, mega prize package. Not the beautiful glass container, because my mom gave that to me and I wouldn't want to lose it. But anyways, all this cool stuff. If you go to my Instagram page, you can see the huge long list of 10 different things. And by 10 different things, I mean different things. Like, there's 3 of these squeezy balls. That counts as one thing. There's 3 of these. That counts as one thing. So it's 10 different things. Some things are smaller than others. But anyways, many people entered to win. Some people entered a couple times. These are the names of the folks that entered to win. So I'm going to put them in my little mug here. And together, we're going to see who the winner is. Here's the lucky winner right here. I'm going to show it to you before I even look at it. Is that upside down? Oh my gosh, it's my friend Cat Creations. I didn't actually put her little dot smiley face thing in the middle of her name, but she is the sweetest person in the universe. So I will actually put her name correctly spelled on the screen there. But yay, I'm so excited that you won. That almost deserves another rattle from the tambourine. So I'm so excited. Yay. Thank you so much to all for entering and following me. I've really appreciated it. It's been fun, and I can't actually wait for the next 1,000 because I realize it's just a bunch more friends and not like things to worry about. I used to worry about getting more followers because I would think like, oh, I'm responsible for all these people. No, it's just a bunch of people to hang out with and talk about what you love to do with. So I am so excited that is our winner. I would be excited if anybody was the winner, but especially her. She is the cutest person ever. She just had a baby, so she is totally worth it. Set that there. Okay, so let's cross that off the list. Next is mail. All right, so there was some mail that came, not a ton, but we can open it together. I'm hoping this is the thrifting find I was talking about in my last podcast. Then this might be I think so. I said I was going to be doing sewing, so that's still happening. This is probably the first part of that. It is exciting. By Estate. In a bunch of different colors. So I'm hoping to be able to use this for some fabric to crochet transitions. We'll see how that goes. I will keep you posted on that. All right, if I seem like I'm just throwing stuff off to the side, I am. Oh, and this is appropriate for here as well, because even though it's not crochet or fiber arts, I do talk about my teas, and this came as well. Normally I go to the Whistling Kettle, but occasionally I will order one. Long Island Strawberry Green Tea, so I'm excited to give this one a try. All right, we'll set that aside as well. And then the eBay find, I'll put it up on the screen if this is the one I was talking about. I think it is. Yay! Drum roll, please. Oh, how cute. Isn't it sweet when people wrap their packages so cute? Like, it's just in a plastic bag, but it has like stickers and a ribbon. That's so sweet. And I don't want to cut the handles of the bag, you know, because if I can upcycle a bag, I will. We're not allowed to have them here in New York State. Oh, this is it. Okay, so this is the beautiful dress that I found. That was probably headed for the dump. I don't know. That somebody was wanting to get rid of. But it's kind of got like this crocheted top and this like fabric-y bottom there. So I figured instead of letting it get trashed, that I would take it, I would say take it home, but I bought it off of eBay. And save it from an unfortunate demise. Sometimes I find stuff on, I got this on eBay. Gosh, it was only a few dollars. The seller didn't seem to be able to get rid of it. Maybe because it's so bright, but I love the colors of it. So, and it's just right up my alley, but I'm pretty sure this really does look very crocheted to me. So, it's a Forever 21 dress, so I kind of hate that. But yeah, you can't stop these big stores from selling mass-produced crochet. So I won't buy it in the store. But if I see it in a thrift situation, like a thrift store, secondhand shop, on eBay, whatever, then I will buy it. Does that make sense? So you may disagree. You can yell at me in the comments if you want, or you can say, oh, that's a good compromise, or you can say, I buy mass-produced crochet because, you know, somebody made it and I can enjoy it. So, like, there's no right answer, really, technically. It's just that crochet can't be machine-made. So if you buy it in an actual, like, big box store, then somebody did have to hand make that. And if you bought it for, you know, it's from Forever 21, so whatever the original price was, $20, you know, I don't know how long that took, but that would take me days and days to make. So Forever 21 is profiting off of it at such a cheap price, then you know that that person's not really getting paid a living wage. So in those cases, I do buy it if it's thrifted. So let me check the box and we can move on to the next thing. Okay, so in light of all the sadness that's happening with Joann's, everyone's posting their very sad stories of, oh, I'm in Joann's, and I do feel bad about it. I probably didn't go there as much as I should have, but it seems like the way they ran the company, I'm not sure I could have single-handedly saved them from their demise. That being said, when we went to Cooperstown, we ended up in Walmart, which I do not normally frequent, not because I have a thing. I have a thing against big, huge stores. They kind of just freak me out. So anyways, we went to Cooperstown, but the hotel we decided to stay in actually had a really nice hotel, like a heated inside pool and a hot tub. And we hadn't brought swimsuits. We didn't even really know where we were going, what we were doing. We kind of hit the road spontaneously. We had clothes and like necessities, but we didn't actually think swimsuits. It's the dead of winter still up here, it feels like. So anyways, we ended up running over to Walmart. And we actually found I found the cutest bathing suit I think I've ever owned in my life. So, wow. I've spent like $100 on a bathing suit before, and it's not made me as happy. So, I'm stoked at my $25 find, my little two-piece. Which is like a little shirt kind of, which is the cutest thing ever. And then like little boy shorts. I don't know. Perfect for my age, perfect for my modesty level. So, anyways, total detour, sorry on that. Maybe I'll cut that out. I don't know. Anyways, as we were walking through Walmart, I saw like in the craft area, because I'm nosy, I just had to go see what they had in the yarn, whatever. They had fabric rolled up in like little bundles. And it was really inexpensive per yard. I mean, if you go to Joann's right now, even their sales stuff isn't really cheap. And fabric has gone up in price per yard immensely from when I used to buy it, you know, back in the day when fabric was like $3, $4, $5 a yard. $10 a yard was like crazy. Upholstery might be $20 a yard. You know, this is way back in the 90s, when I was like actually buying, selling fabric, and I had a closet full top to bottom. Those were the days. That's what happens when you decide, I'm going to impulsively do things with my life and make life changes and not really care about what I have. And then one day look back and go, why did I let all that just go to waste? But anyways, it still hurts me to think of it. But I've never replenished my fabric stash. So I had a huge fabric stash. It was huge. It was you know when you have like the pantry closets or the bathrooms that have like the louver doors? It was like that, basically, full, top, floor to ceiling, flat fold fabric, anywhere from, you know, a yard to several yards to 5, 6 yards of any different types. So anyways, life changes, etc. happened, and my fabric stash went by the wayside. So I've been wanting to get more into sewing. I have a little bit of fabric kind of set aside. I've been upcycling some things. But I just got the serger machine, which opens up a whole world of sewing knit fabrics for me. And I was like, As we pass through Walmart and I see fabric that is being sold for like $1 to maybe $3 a yard in little bundles. And so I was like, stop the cart. My husband like loaded up way more fabrics than I would have even chosen. He was picking ones that he liked. I was picking ones that I liked. And so my haul this week is showing you the great fabric finds that I found at Walmart. Now, most of the fabrics I got are knit fabrics. There are a couple of non-knit fabrics that I can use on the regular sewing machine. But they had more non-knit fabrics. They had vinyls. They had sheers. They had, they had, I want to say even like some denim-y things. And mind you, I got more knits than I would have probably picked out because, again, my husband was throwing fabric into the cart that he liked and was hoping I would make dresses and such for myself and who knows what else. So anyways, the fabric is fairly inexpensive. This 2 yards of this kind of like the afternoon lighting, I can't really do anything about it. This is just when it happened to be when I could record, so I will be kind of too busy over the weekend, and the week's already gone, and otherwise I miss out on the podcast, so this is what we're doing, unfortunately. So anyways, it's kind of a dusty rose, dust pinky rose. You can see it if I hold it in front of my little sign there that I keep up. I love the feel of it, and mind you, I've never sewn on my serger yet, so this will be an experience. There was a bunch of these beautiful knit fabrics. This is 2 yards for $4. Now, what can I do with 2 yards? I can do a lot with 2 yards, being the smallish person that I am. There's a lot of patterns that will work for me, and I have ideas for other types of things too. I just want to crawl into this. I want to make pajama pants out of this. All right, so I have these. These all were like the $4. It's just a ridiculous amount of fabric for that much. Like, I don't even think you could get 1 yard for that much, honestly. A couple of the other types of fabrics that we got that were kind of cool were like almost knit looking fabrics. Whoops, there's the tambourine. So I saw that and I was like, how cool would that be to make that into like a dress or something? You know, I don't ever want to knit myself a dress, but if the fabric is already like made into, that was kind of neat. My husband was also like, can you make me shirts out of some of these? So that's why he was hoping I would buy more than I had planned. This one's kind of neat. It's like ribbed. I could definitely see this as like a dress. It's so soft and squishy. one of the ones so two that are not knit. These are the two that I was able to get that aren't knit. That's kind of like a pinkish, reddish with white stripe, and like a gray and white stripe. And these would work well for lining things. Anything really. I probably wouldn't make a garment out of them necessarily, but I could, I guess. I really liked this kind of like knit looking fabric here. I'm trying to pull a piece out so you can see it. It's kind of lacy. I don't know if you can tell. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Some are more dense. This one, 2 yards for $4. I'm trying to find the one that was, here's 2 yards for $3. There were some 3 yards for $8, I think, maybe. This is the softest, fluffiest, most lovely thing I've ever felt. I just love the feel of it. So I'm not sure what I will do with everything. But like I said, sewing's going to be on the menu. My husband heard that. He saw all these fabrics in just piles, in rolls. So I was grabbing a few and he was grabbing a few. And before we knew it, we had like a baker's dozen. So that's my haul. So go check out in the craft area of your Walmart. I don't know if that was just the Walmart that was near Cooperstown, Oneonta area. I haven't even checked my Walmart, so I don't even know. So you have to check your Walmart and let me know, because I have no idea. So there's that. Let me know. All right, that is the haul. I better hurry up. I only have about an hour to do this, so I'm talking. Finished Friday. Let's get rid of these. These are all in my way. All right, so I have not blocked this, but it's finished. The ends are even woven in. Can you believe it? I'll show you what it looks like. This is the Ada cardigan designed by Made by Pearl Me pattern test. And this is as far as I got with the yarn chicken that I played. I have this much yarn left. So I love it, actually. I've thought about buying the replacement 6 skeins off of eBay. Not replacement, but buying the 6 skeins of the same yarn I found on eBay that is pink and making another one that's long sleeve. But my husband's like, well, if you don't like the color, don't make the sweater. So he's not wrong. I'm not sure if I love the color. It's kind of bubblegummy. Might be the reason why there's 6 skeins of it left. So yeah, I don't know. The other finished project, because I've been working on pattern tests, I don't actually have like another thing that I technically finished. So even though I announced this one, I actually wove in the ends, got the toggle button sewed on. So I'm still going to give myself the thumbs up for that. But I'm going to choose a different project because this YarnCast is new, but my pattern testing adventures are a year old. I am going to show you stuff I've finished in the past on Friday as well, to show you just the different range of things that I've made and like to work on. So one thing I finished last summer for a pattern test is this Calderwood throw. This pattern is designed by Wellstone Creations. It is a stitch designed by her that she calls the Calderwood, which I really love the name. It makes such a drapey, beautiful fabric if you can't tell. Yes, I have one end I haven't woven in, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So anyways, this is a, I should have written it down off the top of my head. I cannot recall the name of this yarn. Let me see if I can find it. Dragon. There it is. I found it. Dragon. So this is Lion Brand Dragon Mandala Cake. Okay? This is a good segue into who I want to give a shout out to, which is going to be Wellstone Creations. She allowed me, or invited me, I guess, chose me to do my very first pattern test last year. I believe it was actually this pair of earrings. This wasn't the first pair I made, but this was the first design that I tested for her. I think it's called a teardrop earring. And she's just been a delightful person to work with. She believes in every single person like that she works with. She's just really an incredible source of encouragement. She loves the crochet community. She makes beautiful patterns and designs. So this blanket is one of hers. There's a whole bunch of earrings that I've tested for her. She's done this incredible little grocery bag that I made that I love. So she's just an awesome person. If you haven't checked her out, she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, and she's on Ravelry as Wellstone Creations, maybe. But Wellstone Creations for sure on Instagram and on Facebook. And this is her brainchild. So my dilemma, though, I don't want to forget my dilemma. So I have actually two, but while I'm holding this, the first dilemma I want to talk about is I don't love this edge, and I don't have the skein with me. I did forget to grab one thing. I have myself surrounded with all the stuff I want to talk about in my YarnCast, so I try not to forget anything, and I forgot the half skein of the half cake of dragon that I have, and I actually kind of want to add a little slightly different border to this that incorporates the Calderwood stitch kind of in a central way. I did it on the heritage blanket. I love it. So I kind of want to do that here. So that's one dilemma. I should have at least gone up a hook size doing this, or at least a half hook size, because it's super tight and I can just feel it. My Calderwood stitch tends to be really loosey-goosey. So then the stitches subsequently are just, they tighten up a lot. So I'm not fond of the tension, and I kind of want to introduce this stitch like I did for the heritage blanket, so that she designed, which is hers as well. And I have a half a cake to use, so it might be a cool way to maybe add it into the blanket and make it a tiny bit bigger. I'm going to keep hitting that tambourine apparently. So my works in progress this week. Oh my gosh, what don't I have going on, right? Well, first things first, I have our old friend. It's coming along though. It really is. Aren't those yarn bowls just so pretty? This one free. This one $2 at a yard sale. But the Cozy Cropped cardigan coming along. I was able to get the full I was able to get the 2 front panels and most of the back panel done with the giant ball of yarn that I had started with, the leftover yarn from my mom's sweater. So I paused there so I could weigh it, and I didn't want to lose my spot, but I didn't want to stop crocheting. So I rolled up the next skein into a ball, which is what I like to do, and I started it on the sleeve, which I am making decreases in. I'm gonna do like a short version of the sleeve, like to here with a little cuff. I just want it to be a short, like bolero style type sweater, which she has said that's fine. So I am a little excited because these yarn over slip stitch back loop only is tedious and kind of hard for my wrist. And although I love the effect, I'll be excited to take a breather from that at some point in the near future, which it's almost done. Another thing that I am working on at the moment is, what else? Oh, the sweater weather jumper by Crochet Knit Bits. That is right here. Very excited about this one too. All right. I'm gonna try this on for you so we can see what it looks like. It's just 2 big panels, like 2 big granny squared panels, basically. So I kind of have like put stitch markers where I might decide to put sleeves, the boat neckline. It's actually not bad. The neckline is not bad. And the The fit is not bad. I actually kind of like that. I feel like I'm ready for sleeves. So there's that, the sweater weather jumper. That's comfortable. I like the drape of it. So that's, whoops. What I don't like is pulling the stitch marker out. Okay, so there's that. I did not get to work on this one, the long lacy cardi by Yarnspirations. We ended up going away for the weekend, which kind of cut into my time a bit. And obviously, you know me. If you know me, I have art projects I'm going to show you too. So I may not get to every art project every week, or every crochet project or whatever. But like I said, I'm going to use you. I got a hair in there. Use you for accountability and just to encourage myself, you know, that these are out there and waiting and wanting attention from me. So I don't want to forget them. So this is the sweater weather jumper. And then the last thing that I've been working on is my own crochet pattern. And that gives us the segue into the next topic. Yes, this is a picnic basket that I use as a yarn basket because I use everything for yarn baskets. So I have actually finally just put up on Ravelry my soap sock pattern. I call it the Lock 5 soap sock. So if you're searching on Ravelry, you can find it on there. It's up there right now for 99 whole cents. And it looks something like that. It comes with full color photos of the entire process and yields something like this. It's a great little device to hold your soap, keep it intact, act as a washcloth. They're fabulous. They work really great. So what I'm trying to do is create a little inventory of the socks so that I can put them up on my website, which I am still working on and it has yet to be put together. This is the cord that I use for the sock. Some people use, they crochet a chain and they wrap it in the top, or use a hair tie. Some people have done. So whatever you want to use. I got a whole lot of this for very little on Amazon, so it works really well. The other design now that is released, I do not want to stop momentum. I want to like literally hit the ground running with the very next pattern. So even though I have tests that I'm working on, and I got approved for one more, and I may just bow out of it. I don't really know. We will see. Like I said, I was having some difficulty with panic attacks and such, so I'm not really sure if I maybe feel like I'm just kind of out of the loop too much already, even though it's only been a few days in. But with my own patterns, I want to hit the ground running, and I want to already like get the next one going. So this is the headache-free halter. It's March. It's the first day of spring. There's no better time like the present for me to dig this out and see what I think about making a cotton version. So when I started this a couple years ago, whenever it was, I was using like polyester thread, which now come to find out, not a good fabric yarn if it's going to be like up against your skin in any capacity or maybe cause you to sweat. So really what I want to do is make it in cotton and just figure out kind of what did I do, reverse engineer it, and start over and then get it to all attach and figure out how I want the rest of it to look. So that is somehow, amazingly, going to be a goal for this week. I know it's maybe not super realistic as I finish up my other pattern tests, but I do know that March still has a little bit of time left in it, so even though I have it on the agenda for this week, I know it might take, you know, into the beginnings of April, but I think a really cool goal, and I'll just share it with you, is that it would be awesome if I could have this written up by the end of April. So that's between you and me. That's the goal. So I'll keep you posted and let you know where I'm at with that. So that is designs in process at the moment. We went over the one dilemma. I have 2 Wellstone Creations blankies that I kind of want to do the edges a little differently. On the other one, I just want to add the red ropey edge to it. This one, I kind of want to frog the edge and do something different. So those are my edge dilemmas. But the other dilemma that I have is I'm just not sure if I want to sell like any products of any sort. And if I was to do that, do I want to get like tags? Everybody seems to have, you know, like say here's the hat that I have made for Una Crochets. I just tested the little knits, the little knots beanie for Una Crochet. But a lot of people have like the tags here, you know. So do you use them? Where do you get yours? Do you get them off Etsy? Do you get them off eBay? Do you get them off Amazon? I've seen them kind of all over. Do you feel like they're needed? Do you feel like the product seems more valid with the tag on it? I'm thinking like for my soap sock, how would I want to do that? I probably wouldn't want like a leather tag because it would get wet. So I'm not really sure. Just kind of thinking about, you know, future ways to put my name out there. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm interested. So those are my dilemmas for the week. My crochet hack. This is my hack. I would be super interested to know what you do actually with this. A lot of people, I see discussion all the time about like weaving in ends. People hate weaving in ends. I see posts online of people's garments that have like come unraveled in the wash. So far, knock on wood, none of my stuff has come unraveled. And I think that's due to a couple things. One is I weave in ends that are like this long on almost everything. Not on earrings, obviously, but those are still pretty good sized ends. But on everything I weave in really long ends. And I also leave little tiny hairs. So that's the wrong side of the fabric. And on the wrong side of the fabric, you can see little ends poking out. So that's at the end of like a 12-inch piece of yarn. And over time, as this gets used and washed, like this kind of frays out and gets like kind of fuzzy. And it doesn't want to pull back into the stitches. It kind of acts like a little knot that's not a knot. And so that's one way that I'm able to keep my stuff together without coming apart. So, and you can't really see it, but I had more ends to weave in on the inside. And there's a few of them. But it also just helps me to see very quickly whether it's inside or outside. Inside out. So as it gets used and washed, those ends kind of just stay put. I don't know how to describe it. It like anchors the yarn in place. So that's one of my little hacks that I like to use. So this week, I'm adding a segment called Rants, and this is going to be my Fiber Arts rant for the week. I might not do one every week, but I have one this week. I talked about it, I think, on one of my live streams, and I realized, hey, that would make a pretty good rant for the podcast. So my rant is this. When I went on my yarn shopping birthday extravaganza where I was like hitting up all the different yarn locations, I was really disappointed to see that Hobby Lobby has reduced its yarn selection significantly. They used to have like 2.5 aisles of yarn, basically like front-facing yarn. So when you go into an aisle, you could walk in and there would be 2 sides of yarn. And then you walk into the next aisle, 2 sides of yarn. And you walk into the third aisle, and there would be 1 side of yarn, and then maybe like embroidery or whatever on the other side. So you had like 5 full lanes of yarn. So I went there to go shopping, and I went into one lane, and there's like yarn on both sides, and then the next one, yarn on one side. And I'm like, and so I go to the other side thinking, well then there must be another aisle like on the other side, but it wasn't. It was sheets and linens and such. And I think it's really interesting. So apparently Hobby Lobby has reduced its yarn collection as Joann's is like going out of business. So there's less places to buy yarn. And it's all speculated that they went out of business because they decided to be all things to all people. So they wanted to be home decor, and they wanted to be holiday and everything instead of like fiber arts, which is yarn, you know, and fiber or and fabric. So I think it's interesting that Hobby Lobby, which for me is a destination shopping experience, like I have to really drive a good 40 minutes out of my way, 45 minutes, I think, to get to a Hobby Lobby. And so if I'm going to drive up to a Hobby Lobby so I can shop their yarn, and they've reduced their yarn by like 40%, 30-40%, that makes it a lot less appealing to drive all that way to go there. And I think it's interesting that they want to carry sheets and other linens, because I think most people buy that stuff online. Like Bed Bath & Beyond did that. It didn't work. Joann's is trying to sell home decor. It doesn't really work. I think maybe they get higher profit margins off of that stuff, but that's not where their consumer base is. So I don't know. I just think, are we going to see another store go the same route as Joann's? I don't know. What do you think? If you've made it this far, I'd be fascinated to know what you think in the comments. So that is actually this week's rant. My thrift for the week is this cute little number that you see me sporting and crocheting in today. It's actually, well, it's knee length. The landscape orientation kind of messes up the get ready with me aspect of this portion, but sometimes in the past I was doing like get ready with me outfit of the day posts. So I do love to thrift and I do love to upcycle. So it will still be a part of the podcast, but you can probably see the portrait versions of my outfits on, you know, TikTok and Instagram and other places where I post those, or maybe in shorts that I post up on YouTube. But I will see if I can find the original eBay purchase and put a screenshot up there. Again, I know that this was less than $10 shipped probably, because that is what I like to do, is spend as little as I possibly can, which is, that's the thrill right there for me. My top picks this week. So normally I am brewing my own tea. I'm excited to see what this one ends up being like. Maybe that will be my top pick for next week. This week we were on the road. I don't always really love traveling with my French press and all of that stuff for my tea. So sometimes I'm just a big fan of iced tea, and I really love Arizona green tea with ginseng and honey. Now this, you may say, like, that looks like it has water in it. It does. So when I finish off the bottle, if I'm on the go and I don't want to brew tea, I like this. It's very light. It's just good for iced tea. And so then when I finish up the tea, I fill it with water. We live in the mountains, so we have a well, and our water is amazingly delicious and clean. I say it's delicious. I don't really love the taste of plain water, but it's good water. It's clean water. I take 1 packet of True Lime crystallized lime, which is like my favorite thing in the world. 1 packet to this, and I drink a lot more water than I ever used to. So this week, I actually do have this in here on ice. A lot of times I just drink my water room temperature, and so I filled it with water as soon as I was done with, or as soon as I poured it into the cup and added some lime to it. So that's one way that I get myself to drink more water. I think I get like 1,000 packets of those on Amazon for like $27, and it lasts me months and months and months and months, and gets me drinking water more than I ever have in my life. And they have other flavors too. They have orange and grapefruit. These have no sugar added, and they have no artificial sweeteners either, which I hate. They do make artificially sweetened versions of their product. Like they have a cherry lime one, but it has the artificial sweetener, and I don't like it. So the citrus ones don't. Lemon lime grapefruit, and orange don't have the artificial sweetener in them, so I like those the best. So that's what I've been drinking. As the weather gets warmer, I sometimes drink hot tea less and less and stick to cold tea, or I may brew my own, so we'll see. So I changed my little topic to top picks, because I may not go over tea every week. I may not say what I'm reading every week. We'll see what I'm doing each week. So kind of where I'm at each week with my personal stuff, you know. Couple things I've been listening to music-wise, I haven't mentioned, and so this week I'm going to mention it. When I was making one of my TikTok reels, I came across a music selection by this group called Jungle, and I didn't think anything of it. I just posted it. I liked the vibe. It was like kind of hopping, you know. And somebody, like, within no time at all commented, "Oh my gosh, what's that music? I love it." So I'm like, I don't know. So I went and I checked them out, and I found them on Amazon. I have the membership for the music, and I downloaded a whole bunch of their music because it's fabulous to do my workout to. So it's important, though, that I find music that I don't mind working out to, that I won't learn to hate as a result of the workout. I don't like working out. So if I'm not careful, whatever I'm listening to, I'll start to hate it as I'm listening to it. So I like this music because it's upbeat, it's energetic, and I don't feel angry as a result. Like, I'm not like, oh man, that song turns my stomach, because I remember, you know, doing a plank during it. So I do like them. I listen to a lot of like gospel themed music, and faith-based music. I only recently started to discover her in the last year, was Lauren Daigle. I think her is the way you spell her name. I really like her music a lot. It speaks to me as a person with panic attacks. Prayer and music is a place that I go to in order to help me to get through them. And sometimes I feel like in her music, she relates to where I'm coming from in a really visceral way. So for me, turning to my spirituality definitely helps me. So I just feel like her music is really raw, kind of like I am, and pretty real. And so I guess I can just relate to it. What I'm listening to book-wise. So again, as a spiritual person, I do listen to spiritual-based things, and I listen to, everything, really. I'm not as big a fan of contemporary written pulp fiction, or whatever you want to say. Most of what I listen to is over 100 years old. I love to listen to the LibriVox app. These are books that are in the public domain, and people have read are narrating the book, basically, and so you can listen along. I love to listen to classic literature and other like spiritually minded books. So one book that I do have on in the background, and I haven't mentioned it, but I listen to it kind of regularly as I'm walking. It has very like poetically written, beautiful, almost like verse, written in the 1800s. It's just like the readings or the writings, I guess, of Charles Spurgeon. It doesn't really there's not really a title for the book, but he does like spiritually minded, faith-based writings that are like 2 minutes long. So each little spot in the morning, he'll do, February 1st. And it's like 2 minutes, and then February 1st in the evening, and then it's 2 minutes, and then February 2nd in the morning, then February 2nd in the evening. So sometimes I just listen to those. If I grab my latest crochet project and I walk around our block, I can listen to that, and it will actually be so much more encouraging than just maybe upbeat music would be. And there's plenty of room for that too. I do that as well. And I'm listening to other things as well. I get on a kick of one author over another. I just finished up a book that I was listening to, and so I was kind of in between. Last week I mentioned Grimm's Fairy Tales. Sometimes I'll listen to one of those in the interim, in between books. One book I really love that I kind of feel like I want to listen to again, and so I'm just throwing it out there, is a book called They Call Me Carpenter by Upton Sinclair. And I don't know if you've heard of Upton Sinclair. A lot of people know him from his book called The Jungle. He was like a muckraker who wrote 100 years ago about like the really horrifying conditions that people were forced to work in during like the Great Depression and the Industrial Revolution. And it's really interesting because he makes giant like social comparisons between, you know, and usually is pointing out like the disparity of the wealthy versus the poor and that kind of thing. So that book I just think is really interesting, and I haven't listened to it in several years, and I'm thinking that's probably going to be the next one. So I don't listen to a lot of books over and over again, but if I haven't listened to one in a few years and it really like stuck with me, then I may listen to it again. So I think that will probably be my next one. So those are, I think, all of my top picks for this week. So another new little topic that I'm going to introduce also is something about me. So something that is unique about me or different, or something you might not know about me. And so I was kind of like thinking about this when I really wasn't feeling good at all on Wednesday. I was having probably one of my toughest days, and I had mentioned last week I needed to cut my hair, and I just hate doing it sometimes. And I don't know, I got like a flood of energy on Wednesday to dig into it and chop it. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's been chopped. And so one thing you may not know about me, or you may have heard me mention in passing, is I cut my own hair. And I just thought it would be fun to show you what I use. Look at that. Oh, that's fun right there. So I have this mirror that I use in addition to my regular bathroom mirror. And then I have these scissors that have like teeth. Oh, there's still hair from my hair. And those help me to like feather it out. But I've been actually cutting my own hair for about a year now, a little over a year. And when I first did it, I was kind of terrified. But now I probably would never go to another salon again. And I couldn't be happier with it. So it's shorter than I ever thought it would be, and I'm happier with it than I ever thought I would be, that I could be. So that's just one little like thing about me that, you know, maybe is unusual. So last but not least, the artwork. Now, obviously, I feel like I just finished up editing the last video. It took me days in the Catskills of terrible connection to get it edited and uploaded. I thought I was never going to get there. And I barely got home, and I started to really I was not doing well on the trip, and I barely got home and recovered in the last 2 days. So I did not get into the studio to work on the other pieces that I had mentioned last week. But what I thought I would do, so you'll just have to remember that I have the mallard duck that I need to do the glazing on, and the all aboard, the colored pencil, the trained colored pencil. But what I thought I would show you, it's too big to bring here. It's a 4 foot long painting, and this isn't a 4 foot wide space right here. So it would literally take the whole screen up. So as sort of a teaser, I'm going to show you the color palette and the reference photo of a piece that I'm working on called Eye on the Prize. It's a big acrylic painting. It's like 4 feet by about 2 feet-ish, something like that. And the color palette is this here. So if you're familiar with my artwork, sorry about the lighting. If you're familiar with my artwork, you know I do these like topographical style paintings. And so this one is race car themed, as you can see. I have several important people in my life that have an affinity towards all things racing, and so sometimes I like to make paintings as like a nod to people. The last large acrylic painting that I did was of my daughter's hand holding an ice cream cone, and you kind of have to work for it to see it, but go check out my Lock 5 Studio page and let me know if you can make it out. And this one is going to be race cars. You know, there's a lot of men in my life that really love driving fast. I used to love driving fast. I was a fiend in the car until I got into a really bad accident a couple years ago. and that kind of fixed it. So now when I drive, I'm pulling over every 5 minutes because I refuse to go above the speed limit. So if you're behind me on Route 9N, I am really sorry. I'm doing my best. I got panic attacks and I'm trying hard to live life in spite of them. So anyways, if you've made it this far, I am so grateful to have you here. I really appreciate you. You make it worthwhile to feel silly and to stage my bedroom up with all of my stuff and to look at myself in a camera and talk about what I've been working on this week. The more I do it, though, the more fun I'm having with it. So I'd love to know what you think. If you have any ideas, if you have any feedback, if you like this, please hit that bell and subscribe and share and like, and comments are super helpful. Any tiny little comment, leave me 3 hearts. Any of those help YouTube to understand that my content might be interesting to somebody else and not just you. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Happy Friday. I hope you find peace. I hope you find joy. And I hope you find love. Have a great weekend.